Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I'm a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Holistic Manifesting because I believe in a whole body, a whole being experience when it comes to manifesting the lives that we choose, right? So today I want to talk about, excuse me, I got this hair down today and it's a lot. Today I want to talk about 5 signs of a great friend, right? You see me looking down, I got notes because I'll forget stuff mid-sentence because I go on these tangents. And look, I'm about to do it right now. Anyway, so let's talk about that. If you're anything like me when it comes to making friends or creating friendships or connections with people, I was always the kind of person that just allowed other people to be who they were. And was just like, well, I'll hang out, I just want to absorb anything that's going on if I don't really like it, But it's always been a very open process. Like I was never really particular. And I find this to be the thing about when people are the type of people that make their own, they're self-soothing. They support themselves. They make their own excitement. They're very internally focused and they can take care of themselves. Well, when you meet friends or people that you're going to be in friendships with or connecting with, we don't always scrutinize it because we're not getting what we need from these other people, right? But what we learn in this journey, what we continue to learn in this journey is that birds of a feather flock together. Not to do 80s rap, but my mom used to say it all the time too, right? People that you tend to hang around people, and if you hang around them often, you may pick up some of their ways. And for whatever reason, we're more negative leaning in society. So you may pick up on these negative leaning ideas and mindsets that you may not even ascribe to, right? And a lot of times it's just to create harmony. That's it. So 5 signs that you forgot a great friend are, and then which we make in this list, it is with the assumption that you are giving all of these things to, right? Because sometimes we're just like, I don't get this, I don't get support, but we can't think of one time when we were actually doing this for other people, right? We can't think of one time we were actually the person that was showing up for others. So this conversation is about people who are doing these things, right? So number 1 is, they're truly happy for any achievement that you make, right? So it really doesn't matter if they agree with the achievement, if they care about it, if they support it, or anything like that. But they're happy that you're happy that you've created something that you love and you get to have the fruits of the labor. I figured this is another way that empathy goes awry, because we always think empathy in negative situations and making sure that people know that they're understood. But there's also a lot of empathy to be had in positive situations and achievement, right? And expansion. Because in those moments, if we're like, I don't really think that person did anything great, but they're very excited about it. Think about a time when you did something or you completed something or you felt great about yourself. Embody that feeling, and then you'll be able to understand what that person is feeling rather than trying to validate whether or not it's an achievement in your book, right? Because a lot of times we get caught up in that and we start trying to appraise everybody's achievements and whether or not they rank here or there. But if somebody's around you and they're just genuinely happy that you're happy that you created something, I don't care how small it is, how big it is, that's a beautiful thing. Hold dear to that, right? Number 2 is they allow space for you to be exactly who you are without judgment or any desire to change you, right? And I know we've all had these situations where we've been around different types of people and we've been around even people that we care a lot about, right? And they do this one thing or 2 things that we're just not really into. Or they do these couple of things and we're just like, ugh, I wish they stopped doing that. But we should, if we don't, stop short of actually trying to adjust somebody's behavior, right? Because not only does it say you are incapable of allowing people to be who they are, but then it also says that you don't respect that person as a whole being enough to allow their personality to just be its personality, right? To just flourish as it is. So you just want to keep that in mind. When you find that sort of connection or that sort of space with other people, that's a really cool place to be, right? And number 3 is they do acts of kindness just to let you know that you are a special person that they value being connected to, right? So a lot of times we have these interactions. So this is what I've learned in my life. And my brother mentioned this to me some time ago, maybe a year ago or whatever. He was just like, have having other adults care about you and your whereabouts and your well-being and what's going on with you and where you're at in the day and whether you ate or not or any little things like that. He was like, that's a bonus. He said, when you get to our age, people don't necessarily reach out because they're very self-sufficient, right? He was like, when you ever get those people in your lives that just care about you, they just give a damn because they give a damn, that is something you want to hold dear to, right? Because that is not super common. And you'll find so many adults in their 40s and 50s and all that talk about having no friends. And it's really because they are not like, they haven't ran into the kind of people that just value the connection, because that's a higher level being. That's a higher level of spiritual ability when you can just value people for people being people. You know what I mean? If you always are like, change this, change that, do this, do that, you don't really see the value in others, right? So number 4 is you can disagree and it doesn't create bad blood, right? That's one of my favorite things, because I don't necessarily have to have an opinion about everything that goes on. Some people are very opinionated, but I will say that if I do have an opinion that's not on the that's not on the side of agreement with the other person, sometimes I hesitate because I'm just like, not everybody can be disagreed with, right? And you can see it on YouTube. You can see it in the comment section, right? Everybody, they don't know how to be disagreed with. They take everything super personal. And if you attack a belief that they have, it's pretty much an attack on them. So if you're around people where you can disagree and it's just like, well, whatever girl, or well, whatever dude, and it's not a big deal, then that means that it's a really good situation to where you are with a mature person who knows how to disagree with people and still love them and still enjoy them and still care about them and still know that disagreement doesn't make or break their connection or friendship, right? And then number 5 is just their presence teaches you, and they almost act as if like a spiritual teacher. That's a big deal to me, right? Because we always think friends is like get along, agree, everybody's happy, joy, joy, joy. But that's not always the case. Sometimes you really encounter these people in your lives that challenge you. They kind of push you to see the world differently, right? And I always figure in those moments we have like 2 choices. We can like run back to the things that we know are created through our traumas, the things that we know are not really serving us because we asked for a higher experience. We just thought it was going to show up to us in a much more prettier or much more easy to digest package. But when it shows up sometime in the form of a friend or in a friendship, we can get very threatened and challenged by that because we are attributing that growth to this person rubbing it in our face or this person pushing us or this person, and it's really just not the case, right? It's just simply your ego has to take a break. Your ego is going to go take a nap, right? And it's willing to learn from everybody around you. So I find that if you find those kind of people in your life, that their presence really just serves as a catalyst for you to spiritually grow, that's a beautiful connection, right? It's not always about happy, happy, joy, joy, but it's about how much are we evolving, how much are we ascending, how much are we growing, right? And because other interactions with different types of people are not happening in a vacuum in our lives, if we have positive things happen or if we have fruitful things happen, the fact that the presence of that friend is there, that's why that is being created, right? I used to look at that very differently. A lot of times we get into this mode of I did it in spite of this person, right? Well, you can say in spite of, but at the end of the day, their presence, the ultimate higher level conversation there, their presence was a catalyst to your growth and evolution. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And when you can find friendships like that and connections to where it doesn't always have to be pretty. It doesn't always have to be sunshine and rainbows, right? And butterflies and unicorns. It doesn't have to be all those things. But there is a real deep, active desire to grow and to expand and to learn. And this person is very much so on board with your expansion, your growth, and your learning, right? So we just want to keep that in mind. Those are my 5 things, right? I'm sure that you have some 5 things that you might want to share or maybe something to add to the conversation. Make sure you comment below because it's a really good way to open the door to understanding what adult connections and what adult friendships, what adult relationships are supposed to be at this point in our lives, right? Because when you're not raising children together, you're not like, doing soccer mom stuff and like, what is it called? what is it called when you get other people's kids? Carpooling or doing play dates, because I did all of that stuff. And you kind of have people around you that serve the purpose for that, but they're not necessarily the kind of people that you might pick for a friendship later on in life, right? And it's not that anything's wrong with them, you're just not evenly yoked, and that's perfectly fine. But you'll see that over those times, and the people that you're collecting and the people that you're connecting with, there's a much deeper understanding that is a beautiful space to be in. And it's not always a pretty space. It's not always a happy space. It shouldn't always be a negative space, right? But we have to know when we come across these connections that truly help us catapult ourselves and expand us to the next level, right? So that's my 5 things on friends. I tell you my list again. Oh no, my screen's still up. They're truly happy for your achievements. They allow space for you to be exactly who you are. They do acts of kindness just because they value you in their space. You can disagree with them without it turning into some Armageddon, right? The apocalypse. And just their presence teaches you so much, and they're like a spiritual guide to some degree, right? You don't even have to share this with them, but you can just know these things, right? Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.